Hey y'all, to get started making our pages, what you're going to need, these are the base pages. So you're going to need 4 pieces that are 5 by 8. You're going to need 4 pieces that are 6 by 8. On your 6-inch side, you're going to score it a half, rotate it around, score it a half. Okay, then we're going to fold down and burnish on both sides. Okay, then I'm using my ATG gun just for video purposes. I recommend that you use glue or, a stronger tape than ATG. Okay, but then you're going to line this up. Okay. And I'm trying to hurry for video purposes, but take your time when you do this and, try to make sure everything is lined up. Okay, so now we have an opening to the left and an opening to the right. Okay, and now you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 by 8.5. On your 8.5 inch side, you're going to score it a half. Okay, and you're going to do that for both of these. Okay, so fold down and burnish on both of them. Okay, then you're going to take a flap, and on your right hand side, your opening to the right, you're going to line this up. Okay, make sure everything is lined up. Press down and burnish. Okay, so that gives you a flap to the right. Okay, on top of this one, we're going to add our other flap. So take your adhesive. Okay, and on this, not the opening part, but on this flap to the left hand side, you're going to add this flap. Okay, line it up. Press down. Okay, so now you have a flap to the left and a flap to the right. Okay, so now we're going to open it up. We're going to add a pocket here. For the pocket, what you're going to need is a 2.5 by 9. On your 9-inch side, you're going to score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Okay, notch out your corners. Okay, now we're going to fold down and burnish. If you want to use a punch, a decorative punch, go ahead and do that before you add it to your book. Okay, so add your adhesive. And you can also go ahead and add your decorative paper before you add your pocket on. Okay, so we're going to line it up. We're going to line it up to the left. And make sure that you don't go over the score mark that's on the right. Okay, so line it up at the bottom and to the left. Okay. And press it down. Okay, and for the booklet, for this pocket here, you're going to need a piece that is 7 1/4 by 9. And you're going to score it at 4.5. Okay, so at 4.5, you score it. Alright, then we're going to fold down. And that's our booklet. And the booklet will hold 4 by 6 photos. It'll also hold them, here on the inside. Or you can do wallet size here, or you can do 3.5 by 5. Whatever you want. But I made it so it would hold 4 by 6 without having to crop them down. Okay, so that's our pocket. Now on this side, we want to add a belly band. For the belly band, you're going to need a piece that is 2 by 6. On your 6-inch side, you're going to score it a half, flip around, and score it a half. Okay, fold down and burnish. And again, you can go ahead and add your decorative paper here if you want to. sometimes it's easier, you know, to go ahead and add it than to try to slip it in, you know, through these little corners here. Okay, and on mine, I placed it, you know, kind of to the left here. You can do it in the middle. You can do it to the right, wherever you want to place it. But I go over about 1 inch. Okay, press it down. Okay, so now that gives us a belly band. And the mat for this one will be 4 1/4 by 11. On your 11-inch side, you're going to score at 5 1/2. Okay, so fold down, burnish. And this one, this little booklet will hold 3 1/2 by 5s without having to be cut down. Okay, so you just place it in. Alright, now we're going to close it up. And I'm not going to do, you know, any pockets or flaps to the front here or to this side. But now on this side, we're going to make a pocket that is 2 1/2 by 6. On your 6-inch side, you're going to score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Notch out your corners. Okay, then fold down and burnish. Okay, and again, if you want to, go ahead and add your decorative paper before you add your pocket. Okay, we're going to take our pocket to the left-hand side here, not to go over the score mark, the score line here. So we're just going to kind of butt it up just a little bit, not all the way. Line it up, press it down. Okay, so now that gives us a pocket. The booklet that you're going to need here is 7 1/4 by 9. You're going to score at 4 1/2 on your 9-inch side. Okay, just fold it down, burnish. And again, this will hold your 4 by 6. Okay. All right, so that's it. You know, so you have your flap to the left, close it up, flip it to the right. You have a pocket, belly band, and pocket. All right, now we're going to flip it over. We're going to do the same exact thing as what we done to the front. We're going to do the same to the back. Okay, so you're going to take 2 pieces that are 5 by 8 1/2. On your 8 1/2 side, you're going to score it a half. Okay, do that to both of them. Fold down and burnish. Add your adhesive. And for the back side, we're going to add it to the left. We're going to add this little flap to the left-hand side. This is your left-hand opening. We're going to the left. So line it up. Press it down. Okay, now you're going to take your other piece that is 5 by 8 1/2. Add your adhesive. And we're going to place it on the right-hand side of this flap. Okay, so line it up. Press it down. Okay, so now you have a flap to the right and to the left. Okay, so now we're going to put a pocket on the inside. 2 1/2 by 9. On your 9-inch side, score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Notch your corners. Okay, fold down and burnish. And before you add your pocket, you can add your decorative paper. Okay, add your adhesive to your pocket. Okay, we're going to line it up on the bottom, but make sure that we don't go over this score mark here. Okay, so line it up, press it down. So now we have a pocket. The photo booklet for this one is the same as the front. 7 1/4 by 9. You're going to score at 4 1/2. Press down and burnish. Okay. So there's your little booklet for this pocket. Alright, now on this side we're going to add our belly band. 2 by 6. On the 6-inch side, score it 1/2. Rotate around, score it 1/2. Fold down and burnish. And again, if you want, go ahead and add your decorative paper before you add on your belly band. And again, you can add it in the middle, to the left, or to the right. This one I'm going to add to the right a little bit. Go over about 1 inch. Okay. Now we have a belly band. So the mat for this one is 4 1/4 by 11. On your 11-inch side, score it 5 1/2. Fold down and burnish. Okay. And that's your little photo booklet for the belly band. Alright, now we're going to close it up. We're going to open the top flap here. We're going to add our pocket. 2 1/2 by 6. On your 6-inch side, score it 1/2, rotate, score it 1/2, rotate, score it 1/2. Not your corners. And again, if you want to use a punch, go ahead and do it now before you add it to your book. Fold down and burnish. Fold down and burnish all 3 sides. Okay, add your decorative paper. Add your adhesive to your pocket. Okay, make sure that we don't go over this flap. I'm going to take it, line it up, making sure not to go over that score mark. Okay, press it down. Now the booklet for this one is 7 1/4 by 9. We're going to score it 4 1/2. Okay. There we go. So this is the back. So here's our front. Our flap goes to the left and then to the right with a pocket, a belly band, and a pocket on the inside. And if you want to add magnets, you'll add a magnet here to this top inside flap, and also to the right hand side flap. But make sure that you add your magnets before you do your decorative paper. And if you want to, round your corners or use a decorative punch, make sure you do all that before you adhere it to your pages. So that's it. Pretty simple. The front and the back are the same exact thing. And I only made 4 pages because, as you can see, it's kind of thick. So the booklets that will go in your little slide out booklets here, these are going to measure 7 3/4 by 9 1/2. On your 9 1/2-inch side, you're going to score at 4 3/4. Okay, then you're going to fold down and burnish. Okay, and if you want to, you can round your corners or, do a decorative punch, whatever you want to do. And you're going to need 4 of these. You have 4 pages, so you're going to need 4 pull-out booklets. Okay, so now to make the album cover, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Okay, you need 2 of these. You need 1 piece that is 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to wrap this album a little bit different. So I'm going to take 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. Okay, I have my 1/4-inch tape here on one of them. Now I'm going to place them together. Okay, and I only use my scoreboard just to, you know, press it up against and line it up. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I have it together. And now what I'm going to do, okay, that's not really straight, but okay, it doesn't matter. Alright, now I'm going to take my center piece, and I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. This is the glue that I use to adhere my chipboard to my paper. And I didn't cut this because I just, you know, want to wrap as much of the inside as I can. Okay, now I'm just gonna eyeball center it and just place it down, wiggle it a little bit, and press. Okay, now I'm gonna do my two sides. Okay, and I'm going to space it about 1/4 of an inch. Press and wiggle. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to space it about 1/4 of an inch again. Press and wiggle. Okay, and I have glue coming out. That's no big deal. Just take your tool and wipe it up. Okay. Now I'm going to let this dry for a little bit. Okay, and after this dries, I will come back and we'll wrap it. We'll do the corners and... Okay, so now I have it wrapped, and I went ahead and cut my corners off. And I cut them off on all 4 corners. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just take my little tool, run it along the edge to help it fold better. Okay. And then I went ahead and pre-folded, you know, all of mine in. And it's going to cover every bit of the chipboard, which is, you know, perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my glue, go across the top here. I'm going to run a line of glue at the top of my chipboard. Okay, sorry if I get out of frame. I'm going to go as close to the edge as I can. Okay, and I'm also going to use some score tape. Or some ATG tape. You can do score tape if you want. I'm just, you know, running some ATG to help it stick. Okay, now I'm going to add more glue. and I'm going to fold this in. And I'm going to take my bone folder and just run it along the top. Let that glue seep in. Press it in. Okay, I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, add a bead of glue. Okay, I'm going to run my tape again. Okay, I'm going to add more glue. Alright, pull it in the middle. Press it down. Okay, take my bone folder, run it along the top. Make sure I've got it pressed down really good. Alright, I'm going to go to my edges, fold those in. Okay, add our glue. And you can use score tape and glue, it's just, you know, whatever you prefer. Alright, press that down really good. Alright, now we're going to flip it over. Same thing on this side. Press in our corners. And the reason why we press in our corners is to cover the edge. We want to make sure that, you know, the edges are covered. Because you don't want to see chipboard whenever you fold in your paper. And sometimes that will happen. Okay. So press it in. Press it down really good. Okay. So now we're going to take and we're going to just kind of feel around. Or you can take your book and it'll, you know, fold a little bit. And then just take and press. Press your seams in. Okay. Might have to work it in a little bit. Alright, and this is what you have. It's covered completely. Inside, outside. And you can see here, it cracked a little bit, the paper cracked. And it may be this brand of paper. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my distress ink and I'm just going to go along the edges, you know, all the way around. And then I'm going to fold it. And then I'll do my corners here, you know, just to kind of give it a little weathered look. So with it cracking like that, that's fine. You know, it doesn't bother me at all. And if it bothers you, then, you know, I would recommend using a better paper than this. This paper is the 12 Days of Christmas. And it is by Paper Studio. And you get it at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so it may be, you know, this brand of paper is why it tore like that. Or it may be something that I did. I don't know. But anyway, next we're going to do the binding system here. Okay, y'all, for the hinge system, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to do the stack the deck hinge system. And what you're going to need, a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. And a piece that is 2 1/4 by 5. Okay, your 3 3/4 by 5 piece, you're going to score at 3/4 and at 3. On your 2 1/4 by 5 side, you're going to score at 3/4 and 1 1/2. Okay, so this is what you have. You have a smaller little tube looking thing, half a tube, whatever you want to call it, and then you have a larger one. Okay, we're going to take this small one and put on top of the larger one. And I made these gussets 3/4 of an inch because these are our pages. Okay, I have 4 pages, and you can see they are thick already. And I wanted to tell you too, before I put the album together, that if you want to make just a small album, this is perfect. Because this is what the page, each page is the same. But if you want to do just a small, simple, you know, little mini album, this is what I have created for my pages. So you flip to the left, okay, and you have a pocket, and this pocket has a booklet, okay. So you have plenty of space just for one page to make a little photo album. And this side has a belly band and another little booklet. And this pocket also has a booklet. And I created these. These booklets will hold 4 by 6 photos, and the smaller booklets will hold 3 1/2 by 5. And you won't have to cut it. You won't have to do any trimming. Okay, but then you flip the page over, and it flips to the right, and you have a little pocket with a booklet. Okay, and then it flips to the left, and you have another little booklet and another pocket that has another booklet. And each one of these will have a pull-out in here. So you will have a pull-out mat that'll come out of here, a photo mat that'll come out of the center of the page. So you know, if you don't make this into your album like I'm making, and just do, you know, just this right here as a little photo booklet, you can have a mat come out the right hand side and out of the left hand side. But I wanted to show you, you know, that is an option if you don't want to do this full album. Because like I said, these are thick. And that's why I done the 3/4 of an inch. Okay, but now you take score tape or glue or whatever, you know, you use. And I'm going to use my scoreboard just to line them up. And you can either line it up like this, or you can take and bend it down and line it up, and then line it up at 3/4. But I've already got my score tape on, and I'm going to do score tape and glue. And I apologize for all the rambling. I feel like I'm rambling a lot tonight. Okay, but now I'm going to add some glue. Well, okay, and I'm going to fold this little flap up and butt it up against the side here, and I'm going to go in to the 3/4 of an inch mark right here. And I'm going to line it up. Let me see. Okay, now I know where to go. Alright, take it to the 3/4 and line it up. And press down. now you have 3/4 of an inch on both sides. You'll have 3/4 on this side and 3/4 on this side. Okay, and you have glue that seeps out like this, that's fine. Just wipe it off. You know, it'll rub off. And it'll also dry clear. So, you don't really have to worry about it. Because like I said, it will dry. And then press it down. Okay, and this is our hinge system. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to add score tape here and glue. Okay, so now you have your score tape. We're just going to peel that off. And make sure that you press it down really good before you try to peel it off. Because if you don't press it down, sometimes it won't come off very well. And it won't stick. Okay, and I have these little pieces here on the end, so I'm just going to press them in. Alright. Take our book. Okay, now this part, what I'm going to do is take a piece of paper and line it here so I'll know where my seams are. Because with it all being, you know, the same, it's kind of hard to see them. Okay, so now I have my hinge system, my glue, okay, now I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to eyeball, center it, probably have about 1/2 of an inch on both sides. And I'm going to press it down. Take your bone folder, just press it down really well. Okay. There we go. Now we have our hinge system in with 3/4 of an inch spacing. Okay, and we have 4 pages. So we have 4 flaps here. Okay, so now I'm going to add my pages. Hey y'all, I went ahead and added some design paper here in the middle of my hinges. But now I have a problem because my page will not fit onto my hinges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them. All I'm going to do is just notch them. Okay, just like that. Just take, you know, just a little bit off of it. And if you want to, you can do this part before you add your binding system in. So, that's all. You know, just take just a little bit of it off. And if you want, you know, to cut a little more than that, that's fine. You know, just kind of angle it a little more. You know, just cut a little bit more off. But there's always a fix to your mistakes. So I'm going to trim these up and then I'm going to add my pages. Okay y'all, I'm going to show you how I add my pages. Okay, after I trimmed up my little corners here, I have my adhesive, my score tape, and I put 2 pieces on one side and 1 piece on the other side. You can do 2 pieces on both sides. I just done it like this. And you're going to take, and I like to do mine on the back. So you're going to take your score tape off. And then you're going to take a scrap piece of paper or something and use a glue stick. Just, you know, any kind of glue stick. And this helps, you know, let you position your page before you add it. Or before you, you know, press down firmly. And this is not my idea. I saw somebody else on YouTube do this. But now what I do is I take my page and then I open it up. Okay, I'm going to take it like this and have my wings. come together. And then I'm just going to use a clothespin to hold those together. That way I can squeeze this open. And I'm sorry if this is confusing, but some people, you know, always ask, how do I add my pages? So then I just take and open this up, and I squeeze it together. And then I take, once I have it squeezed together, see, it's opened, I just kind of slide it over, and I go down to that bottom piece of score tape. I don't go all the way to the bottom of the hinge system to the paper. And then I press it down. Make sure that it's lined up and press down. But see, I don't go all the way down. So you have, you know, a little space here. And then I unclip my paper, my clothespin, and close it back up. I like to add a piece of paper to the front here so I know what's the front and what's the back page. So, you know, you'll see a little piece of orange, you know, on each one of my pages throughout this tutorial, but that's what it is. It just tells me, you know, what's the front. That way I can keep the front from the back separated. So whenever I put it in my album, I know that it's not upside down, and I know what's the top and bottom, what's the front. You know, that just helps me out. So far we have 3 pages in. We're going to add our last page. Once again, peel your tape. Okay. Take your glue stick. And just rub it along in there. And I'm using a piece of chipboard, just a scrap piece of chipboard, because it's strong, you know, and it won't bend too much whenever I'm trying to add it. Okay, so now you're going to take all of your, you know, little booklets out. If you have your booklets in there already, just make sure you take everything out. Sorry, I should have already had this part done. Okay, now once again, okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my 2 flaps, bring them together, and use my clothespin. Okay, so now I have my opening. Okay, now I have my opening here, and I'm going to slide it over, not going all the way to the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to lay it down to kind of make sure that it's centered and, you know, level with the other pages here, how, you know, it's all straight. And then I can press it down. Okay, and now take my clothespin off, fold my flaps back in. Okay, now I'm going to go to this side. I'm going to turn my book around. I have my little pick tool, and I'm just going to pick this first page up. I'm going to pick it until I can grab that piece of paper. Okay, and then I like to hold this part up, pull this paper out, take a little adhesive, and squirt up in there. Okay, then you can press that down. You can open it up and press it down really good. Take your bone folder and just press it down. Okay, I'm going to do each page like that. I'm going to hold it up, reach my tool in here, grab that little piece of paper off of my score tape, take your adhesive, just shoot some adhesive up in there. Having this fine metal tip helps out a lot. Okay, then I'm going to open my flap, press it down. Okay, close my flap, and I'm going to do the last 2 pages. Okay, for the front and the back inside covers, I'm going to do them both the same. And what you're going to need a piece that is 3.5 by 8.5. Okay, and you're going to score it on the 8.5 inch side. You're going to score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Okay, and if you use a decorative punch like I did, go ahead and punch it now. Fold on your score lines. Fold and burnish. Okay, and like on mine, I have this little extra piece here. Just take your scissors and just trim it up. See, just cut it off. Okay, and you're going to add your adhesive, place it down, you know, just kind of, I went in about a 1/2 inch, so I have about a 1/2 inch on each side. Okay, and then I'll place it down. Okay, you're going to need a piece that is 3.5 by 7.5. On your 3.5 inch side, you're going to score it a half. Sorry, I didn't do my little white line there, but you can see here, you just scored a half. And go ahead and round your corners, or, you know, punch out your corners if you're going to do that. And you're going to fold down and burnish. Okay. And then you're just going to line it up with your pocket here. And then press it down. Okay. And that's going to give you a pocket. This is your lid, and then here's your pocket. Okay, and like I said, I've done the front and the back just the same. Okay, the booklets that are going to go in your pocket, you can see I added my magnets, but the booklets will be 6.5 by 8.5. Okay, on your 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at 4.25. Okay, and if you want to, you can go ahead and punch out your corners. Fold down and burnish. Okay, and those will fit right down in there. Okay, y'all, so now all you have to do is add your decorative paper, and I've added decorative paper to my mats as well as on the inside. And I wanted to show you too, this is a great way to use up stamps, you know, that you may have that you like to use and don't really, you know, have anything to use them for. Plain cardstock and stamps works perfectly. So just, you know, go ahead and embellish up, add your decorative paper, you know, make it real pretty, and you'll have a complete album. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, let me know what you think. Have a great day.